This is Charlie Frank here, and we are joined by Jeff McGrath today. And Jeff is filling in for Chris Everton, who is in Europe tonight. And the Speed Travelers needed a representative in Europe, so we sent Chris to Europe because Chris needed to cover all the action in F1 over there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
If anybody can do it, Chris
can do it.
He's our man.
But it's a tradition that we record from Leopa Restaurant here in Long Beach.
So beautiful.
It's an amazing place. If you're here Grand Prix weekend, either Friday or Saturday night, come down. You can join us. You can get a table. It's just a fantastic restaurant.
Speed Travelers here. The Dodgers are up on the bar TV. It's all looking good here tonight.
Yeah, and if anyone's tuning in live and they have a question, by all means, DM us a message, and we'll try and answer that question for you.
So I had a question
from
a viewer here.
Okay.
And it was a question about the engines. What engines are allowed in the IndyCar as opposed to F1?
Got it.
And
so the IndyCar right now they have two engines. It's the Honda and the Chevy, as you know. And there's been talk that some other brands are going to come in, like Porsche and Audi, and those guys. The deal is you can't have one engine per team. So, for instance, Team Penske can't have the sole use of one brand because it's not fair to the other teams.
If they get a super engine that nobody can match, then they'll win everything.
Exactly. And so what they do is they make them supply at least 4 cars. That way, if Penske builds a super crazy engine, they can use it on the other cars. And at least they don't have they don't dominate the series with their engine.
Now, how does F1 work differently on that?
F1 is a little bit different. Different teams can use different engines. You mentioned it to me, right? That Cadillac is using a Ferrari engine right
Cadillac,
now.
And a couple of years, I guess, they're going to do that.
Yeah, and Cadillac they don't have their motor ready yet. General Motors is working on it. Interestingly, they're working in Fishers, Indiana. They also have a shop in England, but it's really unique because most F1 teams are all based in Europe.
Yeah.
So Cadillac has a plant in Fisher, Indiana, and that's really cool. So, but they don't have their motor ready until 2028, so they have to use a Ferrari engine.
Well, after that, I am a Made in America kind of guy.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. We love them from everywhere, but it's nice to see something from here in F1.
Yeah.
And like the Chevy engine here today at Long Beach Grand Prix, the Chevy engine, I think, everybody's saying all the Honda's the best, but there's more Chevy engines.
Right.
So somebody likes Chevy engines.
Jeff and I noticed that. We actually, Jeff and I were looking at the grid, and our friend was saying, the Honda is by far the best motor, and we realized that only the top car was a Honda, and the next 5 cars were all Chevys.
So they're pretty darn good too. So that's really great to see.
But you want to talk a little bit about who was fastest today and what happened?
Well, yeah. So, I don't even know who was fastest. That would be.
I think that Will Power was at the top. Will Power's had sort of a tough year. But Will Power has been. Will Power, this is his track. He loves Long Beach. And so he's had a bit of a tough year. He's in 13th place in the standings.
Win here would be very handy.
Win here would be handy.
Yeah, I was looking at Kirkwood and Palau, probably favorites. I would guess.
Right.
But but there's so many people who are right there.
Right.
And different people have different ideas, and then you look at the stats and go, wow, nobody talks so much about so-and-so, but he's like in 4th or 5th position.
Right.
Like Newgarden and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so it's exciting. It's so exciting.
It's really, it's a very unique event. The Speed Travelers, Jeff, Chris, and I have been to races all around the world, and this is literally my favorite race of the year. You're in the middle of a big city. There's lots of action around. It's it's just an incredible event.
The whole metropolis gets involved.
Right.
It's not just a little thing going on here. It is all over and it's very exciting.
Yeah.
And just the stuff that is right around there. The cars are going by like whoever, 180 miles an hour, something like that. And there's somebody in a little paddle thing. We saw two people in a little paddle thing. This is a swan little paddle boat.
Right, in the lake.
In the lake, right in the middle, going all around. And that was like the juxtaposition of those two things, like 3/4 of a knot, and 180, 190 miles an hour
in the background.
In the background. So that was very exciting.
Okay, we had a couple questions, so we'll figure it out.
Question?
I don't know what Chris means by as my friends, but
you're our friend, Chris.
Kelsey also said hi earlier.
Hi, Kelsey Matthews. Hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Hope you're recovering well from your surgery.
Yes,
and we miss
Kelsey.
you.
It's
not
you.
quite
We
the
love
same
you.
down here without Kelsey.
Yeah. We love you, Kelsey.
Not sure what Chris's question is, but he'll probably come up with a new question.
Yeah. Something that even an ordinary person can understand would be good.
But we have to say, we're not getting paid by B12, but Jeff, cheers.
It is.
We're missing our buddy Chris, but it's okay that that we have a representative now in Europe to cover the F1
Wow,
season.
yes. Yeah, we're going to have to do one of those simulcasts.
We will.
With F1 in Europe. I'm all out of B12. I don't know about you. I'm just kidding.
All right, Chris says it's AJ Foyt's year. So,
all right.
AJ's still around. I think he's 91 years old. And my brother-in-law, Pete, who's here tonight, that's a famous quote from Pete because he loves AJ Foyt.
Yeah.
And so we used to watch the IndyCar race, the Indy 500. It's like a big family tradition. And every single year, Pete would say, it's AJ's year.
This is AJ's year.
We might have to have Pete come over in a minute and talk about the Grand Prix. Yeah. And then I'm not sure where Lyle went, but
Pete, come on
you
over.
should get Lyle about the original race.
We're going to talk about an AJ Foyt and stuff like that.
Also, while we're talking about crack open Fuego Hard, this is an amazing ginger beer with vodka. And there's one that's not too spicy, and then there's one that's very spicy.
I like the spicy one.
Not as spicy. Let me try it. Cheers, Jeffy.
Oh, can I cheers with you?
Yeah, you can cheers.
This is the greatest stuff.
Woo.
This is like shockingly good.
Wow, it's spicy.
I think I like the spicy one the best.
That's really biting.
Yeah.
But Fuego Hard has jumped on board and been a supporter of ours this year. Great company. It's a new company. Ask for it if you like ginger beer.
Yeah.
Ask for it at your local liquor store or local restaurant.
If you like ginger with your sushi, you're gonna like this.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
It is just like the ginger for your sushi.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab you a bottle of B12, Jeffy. And
I can get it.
Chris says cheers.
Okay. Chris is watching live in Switzerland. Wait.
For movie magic, I ran over there and I got the B12. There you go.
All right, there's the B12. Jimmy Vassar's a good friend of ours. I believe he's a 96 and 97 IndyCar champ.
Yeah.
And he has an extraordinary winery in the Napa Valley. Or actually, you've been there.
I love that place. Up on a kind of a small mountain or a large hill.
Right.
Looking out over, there's a castle off to the left.
Right.
That they're developing, I guess, back into a castle.
That's right.
But the wine was superb and it was just so serene.
Right.
And we were there basically just by ourselves, looking out over.
It was amazing, right?
Over Napa. It was yeah.
So B12 wine, if you're ever in the Napa Valley area, call them first. They don't take drop-ins, so you actually have to call them and reserve a tasting.
Yeah.
and I believe there's a minimum. The tasting's free, but you have to buy 3 or 4 bottles of wine per person. But it's an amazing bottle of wine. So I'm going to have a little more, Jeff. Jeff's needing a little bit of...
a little dry here.
So it looks like Pete got a little camera shy.
Pete! Damn it, Pete! Devin, man, come here! Come here!
Who are your top picks this weekend?
Oh, all right. So we have a question, Jeff. Wait, hold on.
Question.
And Kelsey's asking who our top picks are for this weekend.
Kirkwood's my top pick and then Plow, but of course that's sort of like, oh yeah, well everybody's doing that.
I know.
But nonetheless, there were at the top there. There's so many people. It's
Right.
like it could go. What was I talking about also before?
You were talking about Kirkwood and Palau. And, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to go with Will Powell.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Because even though he hasn't been doing great this season, I feel like Will Powell is going to be really good for this race. He loves this track.
Yeah.
He's done really well at this track, so I'm going with that.
Where's he from? Is he from around here? Or?
He's Australian, I believe, yeah. So,
that's close. It's
it's
close.
close. Like similar
sort of west.
California culture.
Yeah. They know surfing and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, Newgarden.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Joseph Newgarden.
A big, maybe had some other years when he was Super Duper a few years ago.
Right.
And it might be his time to come back to Super Duper.
Could be time for him to come back. Yeah, no, I think it's a good time.
Yeah, so that'd be my picks.
Okay, that's good. And then we're going to see if Pete will come join us, and maybe we can get Lyle to come back and talk a little bit about his company, SKNs. I'm not sure where Lyle went.
Chris said, did you do the betting pool?
So Chris, Speed Traveler Chris asked a question, wanted to know if we did the betting pool. We didn't do it for Long Beach Grand Prix, but we're definitely going to do it for Indy.
Hey, there he is.
All right, there's Pete.
Pete, come on.
Come and sit. Just for 1 second.
You're not getting my wine.
Okay. It's okay.
All right, so now I'm being joined by Pete McDevitt. Pete, I was going to talk to you a little bit about your experience our experience at Long Beach. For those of you who don't know, Pete is my brother-in-law. He's married to my sister Susan, and I'm guessing it was probably 1976 or 7 that we went to the race.
Yeah.
And we went
70s.
Yeah, and what was great is we showed up early. We would get here at 5 a.m. and there was no one to take our ticket.
Correct. We used to sneak through the RV park.
Right. Yeah.
And go through that way. We would check our tickets.
Right. So the trick was, if you got, actually, and this is a little pro tip, but if you get here before 6 a.m., everything's open. And they have to leave the roads open. So you can literally walk in the circuit if you want to get here prior to 6 a.m. And we did it in 1978.
For like 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah. And wasn't there a year where we built some type of
Yeah, we'd bring 2 milk carton crates with 2 2x4s.
Right.
We'd set them up against the fence right at the hairpin turn.
Right. Yeah.
And we'd be the only ones there.
Oh my God. It was a good time.
In those days, no one would bother you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and later they sort of frowned upon that, but But we had a good run of probably 5 years.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
And were you here at the first? Were you here with Ralph at the first one with Formula 5? I think you were, right? Formula 5000.
That's right. Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. So we've had a long family tradition of coming to Long Beach Grand Prix because it comes on my birthday weekend, and it's always been fun. But thanks, Pedro, for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for the insight. And I'm going to try and get Jeff to go get Lyle, but he's talking at the moment. But let's see if he'll go get Lyle. Jeffy, do you want to get Lyle for us? I think he went to sit, but just maybe tell him it'd be like 5 minutes. Big guy, bless. So and just so you guys know, once again, we're at Leopa Restaurant. on First and Pine here in Long Beach. It's literally the epicenter of the race weekend, and everyone's here having a good time. So come and join us. We'll be here tomorrow night as well. We're going to go live at 7:30 p.m., and we're going to have a couple of guests tomorrow night. So it should be fun. But thanks, Pedro.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cheers.
Come on, Sam. Let's get suing here.
All right, so Jeff just went to find us another guest. It's Lyle Davenport, and he owns a company called SKN, and he can tell you more. But essentially, SKN has a product that tapes onto the side of the car, and as the cars are driving on the track at full speed, it'll do essentially what a wind tunnel does at a fraction of the cost. So, yeah, it's a very interesting company. It's called SKN. But other than that, as usual, we're having a great weekend here. Axel, thank you for your help. Our buddy Axel's here, and he's going to experience a race for the first time. Once again, I want to mention our beautiful, generous sponsor, and that is Fuego Hard. And Fuego Hard is an amazing ginger beer that's mixed with vodka, and it's an outstanding drink. The folks on it are from Australia, but they set up here in Oceanside, and they have just a fantastic company, and they've been very generous and very cool to us. So please ask for Fuego Hard anywhere you're out and around at a liquor store or a restaurant. It's a fantastic ginger beer. But we're going to switch gears for just a second, and I was going to talk about F1, but actually I see Lyle Davenport coming up right now, so he's going to sit down in a second here. He's shaking hands with his fans and taking selfies with fans right now, but he's slowly making his way over here. But the F1 season has started out pretty incredibly. The Mercedes team has been so dominant in F1. The McLaren just hasn't quite been there this year, but Mercedes has been on top of their game, and they've been dominating. McLaren hopefully will have a seat, Lyle. McLaren hopefully will get back on their game so we can get a little bit of a race of it. Red Bull's been a little bit lost this year. They're not doing so great. What are your thoughts on F1? I mean, it's been pretty Mercedes dominant, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Mercedes have the advantage that, they've got so many engines across various teams that they, it's a data game there, and they came into the season with an engine platform that was always going to be dominant. Right. Everybody kind of expected that coming in, and they've obviously done a really good job, especially on the race stints, to be able to kind of maintain that. And we'll see. I mean, the Ferraris are good off the line. If they sure are. Aren't they? They can keep that going, and there's always games to be played there as well. If Mercedes can hold back enough to keep them inside the 2%, and maybe they don't get the upgrades during the year, but I expect that there will be upgrades coming, and so at least for this kind of the first stanza of the season, I think Mercedes is going to kind of stay on top, but McLaren looks strong as well in the last outing, so another Mercedes customer, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
And everyone gets 5 weeks off, so even in that short 5-week time, there might be some upgrades for the next race.
Yeah, that's a long time, and I hope that there continues to be competition throughout the season. I think historically the best seasons have always been when you've had different teams going back and forth. But equally, watching Kimi and George go back and forth has been entertaining as well.
It's been great.
That's good. I mean, I think Kimi's bringing a lot to the table this season. And last year, even though he was probably there a little earlier than most people would have expected, I think that gave him a good opportunity to kind of bed down, and then he can bring it to George now, so that's great.
Yeah, we love it. So before you walked up, I know you had some fans wanting selfies with you, but before you got up here, I started to tell people about Skin, SKN, and I probably did a terrible job explaining it, but maybe you can tell us a little more about what you're doing and what applications you're in right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we started out about 2 years ago, and really thinking about kind of the convergence of, I shudder to use the term, but kind of AI and the ability to ingest huge amounts of data and be able to take something interesting from that, and then where we are from a electronics component and microprocessing standpoint. And so, I'd spent my summers in college working for the team. Spent a lot of time putting vinyl and heli tape on cars, and so started to think about, okay, well, where we were putting that tape is really interesting from an aerodynamic standpoint. And we're at the point now with the development of low power electronics and sensor technology that we're now able to really turn that tape that we're already using into an intelligent surface that can collect data to tell us how the car is really performing in the real world. We spent a huge amount of money on wind tunnels, on CFD, everything else to kind of see how the vehicle is operating in a somewhat artificial environment. But what we haven't been able to do is really give the car that sense of touch to be able to tell us effectively how it's operating in traffic and changing conditions and everything else.
So just a real basic question, because I'm just struggling to understand. It's an adhesive material that is like sends a signal that you can capture.
Yeah, so we've embedded sensors in the tape to be able to create what we call real world wind tunnel data. So
and that's cool, because like if you're at a place with high altitude or a long straightaway or a short, like you get real time.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So we're able to, and at really high data rates as well. So we're able to build a really interesting aerodynamic picture of the car in changing conditions over long runs, in traffic. I'm sure most people watching this would have seen the F1 movie where Brad Pitt's kind of standing in the wind tunnel saying, "What are you doing?"
Right.
And she's talking about, we're trying to take some tenths out of the lap time, and he starts kind of grilling her and says, can you run this in traffic? Can you, if the wind changes?
Right.
And she's like, no, but we can kind of simulate it. Well, what we're trying to do is answer that question. How is the car actually interacting in real time? Because you can do all of the simulations you want, but when you've got 33 cars going 3 wide into turn 1 at Indy, there's no way to work out how the car is actually operating there. Right?
Such a good point. And you can do it at a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, so that's what we're targeting. We want to make it as affordable and democratize it as much as possible.
Okay.
We want people to be able to use this. I mean, we just came off a test in North Carolina with a really cool partner, guy Skip Flores out there. He works in NASCAR, but he also drives short track. We took the system out there. We spent a day on track with them. Now, we're doing that because we're testing. Typically, we'd want anybody to be able to apply this at any time.
Right.
But we went out there, we made some changes to the vehicle setup, and we took 4 tenths of his lap time on a 17-second lap. So,
wow. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, over a race distance, that's meaningful. And there's, he says it's a credit to him, but there's assumptions and then there's data, and a lot of motorsport is still built on assumptions, right? Because we haven't been able to get to the point where this data is accessible at scale because of cost. And so, our ambition is to make it as accessible as possible so that we can leverage that data and really give people the ability to go out there and make the improvement.
Really cool. So I'm going to let you go back to dinner in a second, but I have a quick question. Can you work with IndyCars or NASCARs, or is there any type of rule that doesn't allow you to put this, your product on the car during races? Or
we want to work with everyone.
Okay.
And a lot of the rules that are out there at the moment are rightfully designed to try and control the cost to the teams. And that's been a trend now for the last 20, 30 years, and it totally made sense. I know a lot of folks would love to go back to the day where we had qualifying engines and then race engines and everything else. The cost was spiraling, and that's why we've got the rules in place at the moment. But I think that there is a big gap in the market for people to come through and really apply, startup mindset like ourselves to motorsport, especially in a world where there's so much interchangeability between the defense market, the automotive market, anything that operates in the real world.
Right.
Motorsport, I mean, it was started because people want to win, but it was also started to get out there and test and develop new products.
Right.
ABS braking, the rear view mirror, all of these things have come from motorsport applications and translated over. And thankfully, I was an investor for 10 years. Typically, this wouldn't be something that we would have looked at, but the market has come to that now as, more and more dual use or defense products are coming to market.
Right.
So there has been a shift there, and, there's billions, trillions of dollars have gone into AI and everything else, but without the data to back that up, the tools are kind of solutions looking for problems. There's an ability now at scale to generate that data in a way that's interesting and useful to teams at a much lower cost way than it would have been 20, 30 years ago. And that's what we're taking advantage of.
So interesting. And just one last question is, can you use your product in the aviation world?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can get real time.
We're already doing some testing with some drone partners, speaking to some of the folks over in Europe, more on the general aviation side. So, motorsport means a lot to me. I've grown up in it.
Right.
I think there's a huge amount of factors why motorsport is a really interesting platform for companies to come up and prove their technology before they grow into other places. Like anything, unfortunately, there is an access problem. I've been fortunate that, having grown up in the environment, I've got so many friends, and I'm very lucky to have done that. But, in the future, I'd love to see a world where, we had cars that we could bring new technology in and invite people in to come and build on top of that, because I think that's the spirit of motorsport, especially here in IndyCar. Motorsport, as I say when I'm talking to investors, motorsport is really a stepping stone to so many other things, but it's also a perfect proving ground because the conditions are so harsh, the performance demands are so high.
It's a great point.
That you need to be able to kind of, forge yourself in kind of the hot fire of competition. So that's what we're doing.
And then how do people reach you, or if they're interested in what you do? Is
we're Skin Systems on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way. SKN Systems.
SKN Systems.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, Lyle. Good seeing you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for the hospitality, man.
Not at all. Thank you.
All right, so that was Lyle Davenport. I'm going to bring Jeff back in for a second.
I'm back. I was way across there. I had some of the raviolis.
Oh man, I need to have some of the raviolis.
Over there, people I didn't even know who they were. I just took a quick smack, and they yelled at me, and I ran away.
So if you come to Le Opera here in downtown Long Beach, order the butternut squash ravioli.
Yes.
It's fantastic. Everything they have here is fantastic. And we're going to be back tomorrow night. Jeff's going to have a lot to say about what he saw.
More new stuff.
And we're also going to be joined by Kim Kalkoven. She and her husband, Kevin, own the event. And she started something called the Kalkoven Foundation. It's very meaningful to me because Kevin was my mentor.
Yeah.
And she's going to join us tomorrow night. And I believe her intern, Natalia. It should be a lot of fun.
So, just a little intro. The foundation, not to take away what she'll tell us about it, but what is it? Because I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna let Kim tell us all about it tomorrow night. But I believe Kevin, before he passed away, put aside money to benefit people in the motorsports world.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at our producer Axel right now. And I'm thinking maybe Axel should apply for a grant. But yeah, that's about it. we're going to go to Chris Everton. Is saying that F1 is going to Nürburgring. I hadn't heard that.
Nürburgring?
Are you sure? That's crazy, Chris.
Yeah.
Nürburgring, if you don't know, is a 178 turn circuit in Germany.
God. Yeah. And the Corvette Z whatever the
01X.
01X.
beat Porsche GT3.
I love it. So,
Yay, America!
Yes.
all right, Chris Everton, our consultant in Europe, he's the Speed Traveler representative in Switzerland right now, is saying that F1 is going to Nürburgring. I can't believe it. I mean, that is a place. If you watch the old movie that was directed by Ron Howard.
Right.
And it was where, if you saw that movie, Nicky Lauda had a horrible accident there.
Yeah.
He got burned. The inside of his lungs got burned. It was really bad. But
he came back.
He came back and he won a championship. All right, guys. Well, I think we are going to head out now. But we'll see you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. And Jeff, have a great night.
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
thank you for tuning in and giving us questions. We miss you, Chris. Cheers.
I left my glass somewhere. Damn it.
Cheers.